Every day, Hollywood's biggest superstars live in a world where red carpets are rolled out wherever they go, and they're always greeted with a name, by their name, and with a smile. But they aren't the only ones. More and more companies are realizing that if they don't treat their customers like VIPs, those customers won't be coming back. And joining me today is Donna Cutting, author of the book, The Celebrity Experience, a guide to receiving and giving the red carpet experience. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
This is such a great topic because I think, more and more, the customer service is going downhill, in my opinion. Why?
Well, I think as customers that what we want is very simple. We want a good product or service. We want someone to be available to serve us when we need them. We want them to look us in the eye, be friendly, to solve our problems and stick with us until the problem is solved.
Right.
But unfortunately, many times what we get is someone, not being able to find someone to serve us,
Yes.
or they're not looking us in the eye, they're text messaging their friends,
Yes.
they're having a conversation with someone else, or if we have a problem, they're passing us from one person to the next, to the next, to the next, until we just throw our hands in the air and get frustrated.
It spirals.
Right.
That's a good point because we are kind of disconnected more and more as time goes on with all of our different things that we're doing while we're out shopping or picking up things. And I think we're stressed, we're busy, we want instant gratification, we want people to be at our beck and call, yet we're not always the easiest to deal with too because of that. And
That's
so, I found your book very interesting because you have interviewed many people who actually cater to Hollywood celebrities and found what works. So share some of those tips with us.
That's exactly it. I thought, I hear a lot about companies saying they give red carpet customer service, but rarely have I received it, or many people that I know. And so I thought, who knows how to give that? And those are the people that serve Tom Cruise and Halle Berry. And so I went to them, and here are some of the things. The first is that the difference, Michelle, between you, me, and say Julia Roberts, the only difference is that Julia Roberts, when she asks for something, the answer is yes.
Right.
And then people around her figure out how to make that happen. So for instance, Extreme Personal Service Concierge Services, they had a celebrity client who wanted a pizza delivered to London, hot, fresh from a Chicago pizza store place.
I don't think we're going to get that kind of service, are we?
No, no, they made it happen though.
Wow.
And the thing is, most of us are not asking for something that outrageous.
Right.
We're asking for very simple things. So if you can train people to have the kind of mindset of say yes to the customers, like the person at Publix who went there needing 6 of an item, they only had 4. She needed it that evening, so the stock person actually drove in his own car to another store, picked up the 2 and had them there for her when she was checking out. That's a yes mentality, and that's saying red carpet customer
Absolutely.
service.
And what are some other tips that you suggest for people that own businesses? Because this is not just for mega businesses. There's a lot of people that have home-based businesses that work out of their houses or small mom and pop shops, so to speak. So what do you suggest that they do to compete with those larger companies?
Well, I think this story will sum it up. I had an opportunity to talk with Gene Perret, who's a comedy writer. He wrote for Bob Hope and Carol Burnett and Welcome Back, Kotter. And he was talking to me about his conversation or his relationship with Bob Hope. And he said, Donna, Bob was the celebrity, but when I was in his presence, he made me feel like the most important person in that room. He even has a story about Bob putting the Secretary of State on hold so he could finish his conversation with Gene. That's how important he made him feel. If every service person, whether it's an entrepreneur or someone who works in a large corporation, kept that in mind when the customer that was in front of them, when they were serving that person, how do you make that person feel like the most important person in the room? And part of that is owning their problems. If they come to you with a question, don't just hand them off to someone else. Stick with them until it's fixed.
And how much do you think is caused by the customer? I think a lot of times, I'm just going to give an example. You're in the line of the grocery store, and the person in front of you, is taking forever. And you become more agitated and irritated by the time you get to your turn, you're irritated and agitated, so therefore it rubs back on the person that's helping you. So talk about that too, about what we can do to be served
I'm
better.
certainly, as the author of a customer service book, I am an advocate of giving exceptional customer service. But I think you're absolutely right that we as customers have to take some ownership for our own behavior and remember that we are human beings dealing with other human beings. I had a great story. An audience member told me, one of my audience members told me recently that they had a very surly waitress. She did a fine job, but she obviously was in a bad mood. And they left her, instead of getting angry, they left her a $30 tip on a $10 charge.
Wow.
That server came running out into the parking lot crying. Her electricity had been turned off that day. She was a single mom. She was really struggling. She said, for the rest of the day, I'm going to be smiling for all of my customers because of what you did. Now, it's not about leaving $30 tips, but it's about understanding that the person behind the counter is a human being too, and they've got stuff going on in their lives. You expect and deserve to get the best service you can, but perhaps show a little respect and kindness and empathy when you're out there
Right,
too.
so that bottom line is what it is, on both sides. Now, you interviewed the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yes.
What did he have to share with you? Because I love him.
Oh, Jack came. And that's actually one of the chapters in the book. It's called "Give Them Their Chicken Soup," and that's based on the whole idea that celebrities, they get special treatment. When Matt Damon flies marquee jet, he gets his favorite wine is on the jet, and the stories about the no brown M&Ms, they're real, they're true. But Jack Canfield is a celebrity, like you said, in and of itself. He went to a hotel, I think it was the Ritz-Carlton, and he was on the Chicken Soup book tour, and he said, I got there late, I was tired, I was hungry, and there on the table was a thermos of hot chicken noodle soup, homemade, with a little note that said, here's some chicken soup for Jack Canfield's body and soul.
Awesome.
And he said, I don't know if they had that chicken soup already and they just put it in a thermos for me, but the fact is they knew me. They showed me in a very tangible way that they knew who I was, and they made an effort to, make me feel special. And you can, a waitress.
It's a good, it's like you said, these are good things to think about in general in life, not just customer service. But thank you so much. We're running out of time. We could talk forever. I love too, so we get a little Hollywood scoop in the book too.
That's right. Lots of fun
And so how can people get your book? It's thecelebrityexperience.com?
Yes, celebrityexperience.com, and also available anywhere books are sold.
Great. Thank you so much, Donna.
Thanks.
Up next, Holly takes us outdoors with this week's Rec Report. Stick around.